Today, I want to take a closer look at NVIDIA and every kind of major news from price targets to recent partnership that the company has seen in the past week or so. So see this as an NVIDIA weekly episode. We're going to look, like I mentioned, various price target hikes. And there's even an interesting stock that is benefiting dramatically thanks to riding NVIDIA's tail. And this stock is up nearly over 1,000% year to date. Let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so in the past 5 days, NVIDIA stock is up nearly 4%. Now, I haven't been covering NVIDIA too much on a daily basis. I'm trying to add some new flavors to the overall channel. So this is going to be a nice weekly touch of everything impacting the overall industry. So the first thing we have, and NVIDIA always posts a lot of press release. First is how quantum computing's biggest challenges are being solved with accelerated computing. Quantum computing promises to reshape industries, but progress hinges on solving key problems: error correction, simulation of qubit designs, circuit compilation optimization tasks. These are among the bottlenecks that must be overcome to bring quantum hardware into the era of useful applications. Here, even NVIDIA kind of says that maybe we're not yet in the useful applications for quantum as a whole. Now, NVIDIA has a lot of software solutions, and their hardware solutions can actually help run a lot of these simulations to make and solve some of this. So NVIDIA's CUDA-X libraries form the backbone of quantum research, from faster decoding of quantum errors to designing larger system of qubits. Researchers are using GPU accelerated tools to expand classical computation and bring useful quantum applications closer to reality. So I don't think quantum will be the end of NVIDIA. I'm pretty sure if and when we ever enter to a massive quantum market, NVIDIA is going to provide various solutions thanks to their kind of like CUDA-Q and all these software integrations, and maybe eventually some form of hardware integration into that space. So that's the first thing I wanted to kind of show. The second thing here we saw on October 1st is NVIDIA kind of just showcasing how to get started with large language models on NVIDIA's RTX PC. And it's just a way for you to be able to run, if you have an NVIDIA laptop or NVIDIA desktop running one of the latest generations of GPUs, how to run AI models locally. They've worked with a lot of partners to make this a little bit easier with their RTX AI Garage. But to me, what this is pretty much doing is it's making sure to bring AI to everybody, right? And if you have AI to everybody, the exposure of AI continues to grow, and that continues to push more developers and more demand in the future. So nothing crazy, nothing that would move the overall stock price, but just interesting to see what NVIDIA is trying to do to kind of increase the exposure of the overall ecosystem. Now, the next ones are where things start to get pretty exciting. So NVIDIA announces new solutions for the robotics research and development with new open models and simulation libraries. So NVIDIA has a lot of hardware that goes into robotics, but it's not just hardware, right? You need the infrastructure to do training, to do inference, to do simulations, to be able to go back and train these robots. And that's what NVIDIA does. It does the whole stack. So recently, NVIDIA announced updates to their NVIDIA Cosmo World, and NVIDIA, which is the foundation that allows you to make kind of synthetic data. And that's great because to be able to train a robot, you should be able to make this synthetic data and run certain things over and over and over again, being able to train the robot to do a variety of workloads. Then their group open foundation is kind of like their world foundation model for robotics, which brings human-like reasoning to robots, allowing them to break down complex instructions and execute tasks using prior knowledge and common task. Now, some might be wondering, Jose, isn't this something that we've already seen NVIDIA do? Yes, so all this is new. It's just updates coming into them. For example, the Cosmo Transfer or the Cosmo Predict, it allows the form of generating up to 30-second videos of simulations with multi-view camera outputs for richer and richer training data. So it's just innovation in this space to help the growth of the robotic space. So again, nothing that would drive or push NVIDIA to new levels right now, but it's kind of that, yes, for the long term, for the next few years, when robotics really picks up, NVIDIA already has the full stack. We saw those software solutions. We saw that infrastructure that can be used for training via simulations. We see the hardware stack from the GB200, their RTX Pro server, and the Jetson Thor. So it's just the excitement for the overall market. Now, kind of pushing into the gaming space, which is no longer a big portion of NVIDIA's revenue, they continue to expand their cloud business, right? Their cloud business is actually really good. So they create massive servers with their GeForce RTX or the latest GPUs. Right now, they're updating a lot of their AI cloud servers to focus on RTX 5080. Now, it does seem the excitement for AI cloud and cloud gaming continues to grow. I mean, we see Microsoft recently increased their prices of their cloud gaming. I'm going to guess a lot of that cloud gaming is also probably done in some form of NVIDIA RTX server solution. So NVIDIA continues to win even if we enter gaming into the cloud space. Now, if we look at some recent updates from Japan, in a recent keynote at an AI Japan event that NVIDIA had, AI Day Tokyo, Japan mentioned that between 2020 to 2030, they are going to increase their AI demand by 320%. Or 300, not 20%, 320x. That's insane. I don't take this number to true value, right? And 2020, we barely had any AI. So obviously that's where most of the growth is already coming. But it just gives you this indication that AI is going to continue to grow globally, not just in the United States, not just in China. The other thing that they kind of brought up here is every AI is a little bit different, right? Here you have kind of your own AI companies working on a Japanese large language models, on an AI model that's more in line with the Japan culture. And that needs its own infrastructure, its own specialized software and hardware solution. So exciting that AI is going global and that demand is going to continue to help increase the demand of NVIDIA solution. Now, there's also another one here from Tokyo or Japan, Fujitsu, which is a massive tech company. They design a lot of ARM CPUs. They mentioned that they're expanding their collaboration with NVIDIA to create full stack AI infrastructure that integrates AI agents. The collaboration will focus on co-developing and delivering an AI agent platform tailored for industry-specific AI agents in sectors such as healthcare, manufacturing, and robotics, along with AI computing infrastructure that seamlessly integrates with NVIDIA's CPU and NVIDIA's GPUs via NVLink. Again, this is just in the way of NVIDIA continue to expand its overall solutions. Now, if you guys are enjoying the episode so far, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Nothing here is anything that should move the stock right now. It should be more of, as a long-term bull, are things going in the right direction? And the answer is yes. Now, I actually want to take a closer look at a very interesting company. This is pretty much a penny stock about a year ago, but it has grown dramatically. SuperX launches flagship AI server with NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs. So first, I'm like, who the heck is SuperX AI technology? They created the greatest name to be able to grab all the attention in the AI market. And when I say there is an AI bubble, this is what I mean. Companies like this that are up roughly 1,300% in the past year, right? That's more than a 14xer, a 14 bagger. So SuperX AI technology, market cap of $2 billion. They are a Singapore company. I couldn't even get a hold of their overall revenues. The revenues seem extremely low, but what they end up doing is, think of it kind of like a server maker. They create various type of solutions. You can buy either you can buy workstations, right? You can buy kind of a GeForce. They're actually pretty cool, right? They do look pretty cool. But there's no, I don't even know if this is a fake website or how true the business is. You can't really find the financials that easily. They have workstations, they have servers with Blackwells, the B200, the B300s. They're also eventually coming into some form of cloud demand. You can kind of start renting out cloud GPU clusters. Well, the market is eating it up, right? They're definitely eating it up, and the stock is up a nice amount. I would just say, be careful if this one caught your attention. It seems more bubbly than anything. If I ever had to invest in this market, I don't think it would be through something like this. Just be careful, right? The market is pretty bubblish in certain aspects. Now, I want to look at price target hikes. So we've seen a few price target hikes this week. We saw Cantor maintain their price target at $240, which is still very bullish. They highlighted that Nvidia is still a beast in the AI market. Investment of open AI answers the free cash flow question, right? We didn't know what Nvidia was going to do with free cash flow, and they had so much. Investment in open AI makes perfect sense. And the overall demand, we're still in early innings. It still remains a top pick with long-term view of 10 trillion market cap. I believe this is true. I believe the market cap I think this could be the first $10 trillion company. Big risk that they mention here is that vendor financing sigillarity that's happening, even though analysts say they're not concerned. For me personally, I'm not concerned at the moment either with something like that. The other one we had was KeyBank. KeyBank recently, this was on, let me see the date, on September 30th, increased their price target to $250 from $230. Main reason is they saw an increase of CoWoS supply demand for Nvidia. They're seeing rack yield improvements, so you're going to be able to ship more servers. And Nvidia, with their latest changes that they did with the VR200, with the Vera Rubin, where they added that new GPU, that ASIC GPU, it's going to make them even a bigger competitor against AMD, and it's going to help contain that leadership there. So all that is giving them more bullish sentiment for the overall stock. I do believe for them it's most likely better CoWoS supply and rack yields improving, because in theory, that means more and more revenue. Now, the next thing I want to look at are just some recent updates impacting the overall stock or the overall industry. We got a little bit more information about the Microsoft and Nebius deal this week. According to people with Situation, this is going to be Nebius building about a 100,000 GB300 data center deal. I don't know if it's all one cluster, if it's various clusters, but still, that's a lot of NVIDIA's GB300. The demand for GB300 is insane. Now, in the overall ecosystem, we also just heard that Google and officials marked the start of a $4 billion AI data center in West Memphis. Now, interesting to see deers are outside the data center count. I don't know what the pick, right? You have deers and the data center. I don't know if they're trying to showcase, look, they're so quiet that even deers can come and play here. We also saw some negative news. There are reports that the multi-billion-dollar deal with Nvidia and UAE is right now not moving due to the United States not signing a lot of things. It does seem like the United States government isn't signing a lot of things. They haven't signed that China revenue share either, and that's causing a lot of hiccups here. So I don't know. Is it just a lot of news coming out and no signs happening or no signatures? Some of the stories are saying that the reason the United States haven't signed anything is they're waiting for the UAE to finalize some signing of investments here in the United States. If that's true, then that kind of makes sense. But this could create maybe some short-term headwinds in form of negative news. But I think that demand for AI is so crazy that this isn't going to be something that should crash the stock. Now, what else do we have here? Oh, NVIDIA Spectrum X dominates Ethernet switch market, surpassing Cisco. So NVIDIA's networking solutions continues to be a massive revenue grower. They continue to dominate. And it's crazy how NVIDIA is no longer just a GPU company, right? It's a complete infrastructure from networking solutions. The final two things are just AI updates. We saw Sora 2 recently got released. I think it's wild. I think it's amazing. It's going to need a lot of AI compute. We also saw Anthropic Claude Sonnet 4.5 announced, and they even talked that some of their AI solutions are working on more than 30 hours of multi-step coding solutions. That's, again, a lot of AI compute. We also saw Meta and CoreWeave announce the massive $14.2 billion deal. This is another kind of bullish sentiment towards the AI market, the AI compute, and also that Meta will soon use conversations with its AI chatbot to sell stuff. So not only are going to be using more AI solutions, but the advertisement, which is an accelerated, is going to need more GPUs. So overall, everybody continues to invest and need more AI capacity, which is bullish for NVIDIA in the long term of things. So the overall ecosystem, in my opinion, is still very early. there was nothing to me today or this week that really should move the stock in the short term. It should just be that bullish trend in the long term of things, right? Maybe the price target analyst increases were nice. I definitely like the key bank one, right? That was the more bullish side. And overall, market is still healthy. I like it. Nvidia is a market cap of $4.5 trillion. What is there not to enjoy? Take care. Have a good day and see you all next time.